Yo, what's up? What's good? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's talk about it. What's up, Richie? Woo, don't forget to hit the like button coming through the door. Cause we finna talk the real. Now, when people saw this makes people upset. I've seen this type of behavior before. Where people will show up to memorial services because they feel like if they didn't do what they just did, people would look at them differently. It would make them look guilty. Now, it's always somebody close to you to be the one to do you in. Now, this person must have his day in court. But there's a lot of red flags. A lot of red flags that was posed. Now, here's the scenario. Allegedly, this has nothing to do with music, even though that he was an inspiring artist. They wanted to get signed by a guy who was considered to be his uncle. And for all these years, he's put up posts honoring, like he was showing love to Jay. But it's a messed up end to a messed up situation. Messed up into a messed up situation. And the bottom line of the story is this. Jay was behind on some money, took an illegal route to get there. His homeboy that he'd been knowing his whole life that grew up across the street from him helped set up a deal. He helped set up a deal to facilitate What's up, Frank? Well, they set up a deal to facilitate to get this thing over with, you know. So it was what it was. People thought, okay, we finna make out big. Got a couple of them things. We can hit them back. We can get this off consignment. And then, for some reason, that deal does not pan out. So now, a new deal is put in place with some other people. One, a deal from a bunch of unknowns. But now, since they take the new deal, the people who set up the old deal is like, hey, wait a minute. Now we done spent all this money setting up this deal. It didn't go down because of such and such and such and such. And now you done went and done another deal somewhere else, and you cutting us out. We want our money. Or you're going to have to cut us in on the new deal. Other people didn't see it that way. And unfortunately, things couldn't be resolved. In that manner. So if you could read in between the lines, you would understand what I'm talking about. You guys are supposed to hit the like button coming through the door. Well, the 2 dislikes, well, we know who that could be. But when people start doing stuff like taking pictures in front of murals and doing things of that nature, you can already tell they're trying to paint a narrative. I've seen people go to funerals and cry, and they be the ones that they were behind the whole thing in the first place. I've seen people carry the casket, be one of the pallbearers, and they the ones that laid them down in the first place. It's crazy. Because they don't want to lose that perception in the public. In the public eye, they got to keep that perception. Because that's what matters. Public perception. everybody's got their day in court, you know? So they're going to have to explain all of this stuff. I mean, he's making countless posts. Lil D was considered somebody that stayed with Jay's family. He was like a nephew, you know. And the thing is that the streets knew what was up about 2 weeks in. But my thing is, Russ couldn't help him out. I understand you wanted Jay to move out to Cali, but if he wanted to stay there and he just needed a little help, I would have gave him some help. I'd have said, look, here's some bread, man. You know, don't go that route. Here's some bread, man. I hope you move your company out, but I got to give you some bread. You know, I can't just not give you some paper and just send you out there. You know what I'm saying? That would look wrong on my part. So I felt Russ and them should at least came and said, you know, here's some bread, you know. Straight up. They should have came off with the paper like, there you go. You know? That's just the way I look at it. You know, everybody's going to have their own views on what they feel and this and that. Don't forget to hit up the Cash App. Carceno's the name on the Cash App. Karceno. Support the movement. I mean, but that's unfortunate. People that stay in their neighborhood, like Nip, like Jay, you know, he stayed there because that's where he grew up. It's hard. People don't understand. People be like, man, why don't you just up and move? I'm like, dog, you gotta understand, these people grew up here. You know, it's not like they know everybody around the world. This is where they grew up. All their friends and family is. It's hard for them to just get up and move to some place and be friendly all these people that they're not really cool with, you know. As much as successful as, you know, Run DMC was at the time, you know, still Jay was not the kind that was fraternizing with all of these people. You know, it was mostly Run. You know, he's hanging out with the Rolling Stone guys. You know, Jay was always in the background. He was the DJ, and he was cool with being in the background. Jay was a good man. You know, that's just how life is out there in the streets. You're dealing with hollers. Look, the streets know what happened. They'll figure it all out in court. It ain't for us to say. I believe Russ if Russ would have gave him that money, I don't know. I can't say none of this would have happened, but I doubt if it would have happened like this. Who knows? It could have came down the road later. You know, I don't want to throw everything at Russ and them feet, but I just felt like, man, they could at least did that for him. You know, because that was their guy. You know, more than Russ, Ron was in position to do something, and he didn't. No, because it crushed him. Run DMC without Jay? Come on. That ends all shows. I'm not trying to blame Russ. I'm just saying, Russ could have gave him that money when he needed it. But he didn't ask Russ for money. Russ knew he was in need, though. He knew J&J Records was in need. You know what I'm saying? But what they wanted was for him to move to California. They wanted Jay to move out to Cali, closer to them, and get out of Queens. But he didn't want to leave Queens. But my thing is, I understand that's what you want for someone to do, but it's up to that person if he wants to move or not. But I felt like, look, if he want to stay, he want to stay, but at least give him the bread. You know, let him at least help him out, because he was just asking for opportunities. You know, something that could bring in some revenue. But at this point, Russ is pretty much out of the music business. Jay is still in it, but at that time, Russ was basically out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not blaming Russ for what happened. I'm just saying, I just felt, you know, to each his own, I just felt like he should have done that. Well, Jay's a legend. He's gonna go down in history. Y'all know that already. He's already in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, you can't have Run DMC without Jay. So you know that. I just felt it was very unnecessary. But this is why you don't dabble in the streets. The street life ain't nothing to dabble in and dabble out, dabble in, dabble out. When you in that life that they were getting into, and you dealing with people that gotta live by that life because they don't have anything else, it's a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous outcome that normally happens. There is no friends. They only know what you done did for me. It's a lot of paranoia in that business, in that world, and you don't want to be in it. Well, when you know people that live in that life, I mean, they look at you crazy. You know, they can't, it's hard for them to trust. It's a paranoid business, man. Everybody trying to take you out because they think you got something. And they want it. It'll be a squeaky clean man that you trust. It'll be that right hand man. They don't care about honor. They care about that money. They gotta eat. That's all they know. They don't care what you did for them, how you done looked out for them. They don't care about that. You was slipping. They gotta take you. They gotta move. You know, it's a dangerous, crazy world, man. Dangerous, crazy world. That's why the best move is not even to make a move. Don't even get involved. It's only going to lead to incarceration or death. And you don't want either. So, people make decisions out of a faith of hopelessness, thinking like this is the only way out. And when you go that route, you'll find out. So, hopefully you guys can avoid the pitfalls. Greed comes along with all of it. It's all fueled by greed. Yep. So, stay alert. Oh yeah, we did do Kamala Harris. We got that breakdown already done. So that's on the Patreon. I'm going to check that out. I know you saw it, Rich. Oh yeah, I was hearing that Dame might not play game 5. So like he might sit out game 5. Like they just finna just concede it. So that's what I was hearing earlier today. They still gotta see what's going on with his knee and all that, but it's like he ready to go home. So it is what it is.